What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Get Nuts, live on the Ben Thomas Show here on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, that is, of course. Today, guys, we got a packed show because we're trying to keep it short. I know you guys want to go watch the football game, even if you're not huge football fans like me. So we're going to try and keep it to an hour and a half if possible, but we're going to talk about the new Game of Thrones show that's on the way. Oh, look at that. Thumbs up. Love to see it. We're going to talk a little bit about the Phantom Menace coming back to theaters. We've got Hot Toys news. We've got Soo Soo Toys news. If we have time, we might talk a little bit more about the J&D hair sculpting, situation that they're talking about. So guys, stick around, of course. If you like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and of course, let's get nuts.
What are you doing? You're completely outnumbered here. Are you nuts? You want to get nuts? You want to get nuts?
You want to get nuts?
Want to get nuts? You want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts.
Alrighty, let's get the music queued up. Now, we have a very special announcement today, guys. Very special on Let's Get Nuts Sunday. There's a birthday in the house. And one might say it's a pretty classy birthday. So let's bring in the birthday man himself, Mr. Classy Thomas, SpongeBob SquareBalls. Good to see you, buddy. Happy birthday.
Ben. Thank you so much.
Heck yeah, dude. Super Bowl Sunday and a Let's Get Nuts day for a birthday. Man, that's a day already.
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm telling you, it's a good way to start the weekend by being able to pull this all together and having it all fall on my birthday makes it extra special. So yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I love that you poked me. You're like, I'm gonna wear my black flannel. I'm like, all right, red flannel it is. I don't even care if I wore it last Sunday. We're rocking it again.
It must be cold up where you live, because I tell you what, I'm burning up in this flannel. I'm sitting here like, man, flannel keeps you warm. If nobody ever thought that flannel would keep you warm, it will keep you warm.
It will keep you warm.
Man,
100%.
This thing's hot.
You're going to start stripping layers as we
you
go
better,
through the
you
show.
better believe it.
Love to see it, buddy. That's awesome. Now, we, of course, had a surprise guest today. I didn't even put him in the show sheet. I didn't think he was going to be here because I know he's a bigger football fan than me. Some might say money isn't his name. But Eddie Money Mendez is back with us again for a shorter show today on Let's Get Nuts. Good to see you, buddy. Good surprise having you here.
Yeah, I thought I'd have some fun for a little while before the game starts. And I don't know that I'm much more of a bigger football fan than you.
Probably know a little more than
I'm a Super Bowl watching fan, so
yeah, that's fair.
But yeah,
That's
I would have wore the flannel, but I got my Super Bowl shirt on today.
Plus, you got to get your Super Bowl snackies.
Yeah, I got stuff last night. I got chips and dip and wings and fries and stuff that I can I'll probably make it like half an hour into the game or so, but
yeah, see, my dumbass self, I'm like, I'm going to go to the grocery store before the show today, not thinking about Super Bowl at all. Place was absolute, like, madness.
What, in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, because, it's still a big event here, right? I think that's the thing, a worldwide kind of event, right? And everybody needs their snacks before the game, so the liquor store was crazy, grocery store was crazy, the chip aisle was insane, like, it was nuts. So I am happy to be home and freshly showered and ready for the show here. Now, good to have you back, buddy, and thank you for being here, as always. We have our British correspondent from across the oceans, Mr. Pete, from Only Fools and Collecting, back with us again. How are you, buddy?
Good, thanks. Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah. Are you staying up for the game today?
No.
No, I don't know.
No, I might watch a little bit of it, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious about the halftime show.
I'm a Patriots fan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And back before they got good, I supported them when Bledsoe was their quarterback.
You had a lot of good years with them still.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
a lot of good years. Crazy. Yeah, if it's not on ice with a black little circle that people slap around with sticks, I don't even recognize it as a game. But I'm just kidding. I'm going to offend people. You guys are all going to leave. You hate to see it. So, Pete, I'm glad you're here, buddy. We're going to keep it a short today. I was telling the audience because, again, obviously people want to get off to see the Super Bowl, so we'll keep it a little shorter today. We may still have Shane ONESIXTHFIGUREFOCUS popping in here in a little bit. I know he wanted to join in before the game today. I think he plans to stay up late and watch it. I think he said it was his first football game he's ever actually watched, American football, which is crazy. So, there are quite a bit of rules. I feel like if he's watching it by himself, it might get a little confusing. Like, why is there so many stoppages in play? You know what I mean? But we'll see how it goes. So, hopefully, there's no crazy referee calls or anything like that. Speak of the devil, and he may appear. ONESIXTHFIGUREFOCUS, Shane himself has arrived. Good to see you, buddy.
Shane.
Flannel as well. You love to see it. Oh, he's got a Guinness too.
Wow. Too.
Yeah, it is
colors on that one.
Oh my god. Look at the
Superman's
mustache it leaves. You love to see it.
That was a creamy one.
Wow.
Creamy
Creamy nut.
Creamy nut.
There's a lot of nut in that.
Very awesome, boys. Very awesome. Good to have you here. And you said this is your first American football game you're going to watch tonight, Shane, is that right?
Yeah. It's mad. I've never actually sat down and watched a full game. And I've been to the States. I think I've been to the States about coming up on 7 times. I've got relations in Buffalo, New York, and Buffalo Bills are a big deal. Well, they were growing up to them anyway because I live in Buffalo. But I heard they have peaks and troughs. But I've never been to a game or even sat down and watched it. I only properly learned the rules today, really, or the gist of it.
Wow.
I hope you didn't learn them from Marco. I don't trust that guy as far as I could throw him. He's probably steering you the wrong way. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I was telling you. No.
So,
Moving on.
moving on.
We don't tell me the rules of anything.
Yeah, I didn't help at all. You hate to see it.
Happy
Guys,
birthday, Classy Thomas.
Yes.
Hey,
happy
thanks so
birthday.
Yeah,
much,
happy
my
birthday,
friend.
dude.
Thank you.
Please wish happy birthday to Classy, whether you're live with us here or on the replay later. That would be awesome. I'll make sure we pass all the comments along to him, anything that pops through. Guys, I always like to start Let's Get Nuts with a warm-up, and sometimes they're silly warm-ups. Other times, I've been asking for members to send in questions, or community members to send in questions, and I think Mark Atkins 3373 got the memo for me last week because he ended up sending me a good 6 or 7 questions. Now, Mark, I didn't pick all of your questions because we just had a short show, but I wanted to go in on this one as our warm-up today because I thought it was kind of an interesting question. So the question reads, if you're listening on audio, what kind of accessories do you enjoy having in your collections? So for me, I have to say I really like weaponry and furniture. I think furniture in 1/6 scale is really cool. In fact, I've been looking at places like Etsy and other smaller places that kind of make their own kind of custom items. And I'm looking at getting a couch for my Deadpool and a couple other pieces. But yeah, furniture I think for me, and guns I really like seeing in the collection. Classy, go to you first, birthday boy. What kind of accessories do you like in your collection?
I too like furniture, but I really am a sucker for a base, especially like a Rocky base or something like that. Something for the characters to sit on or pose with. And I've got a bag full of food items. Like I was on Etsy. Not Etsy. What do they call it thing? Temu, and I purchased a whole bag full of their bowls of Chinese food like ramen and shrimp of different things in it and all different types of things. It's got a big spoon in it and it's got all the stuff. So I've got a bag full of potato chips or different brands of potato chips, and so yeah, I like the food items. As a matter of fact, I think that when they were still doing Pose Wars, I had all my I did one where I had all of my horror figures out, and they were all sitting around having a little party with with a tray full of pastries and and things like that.
Food is not something I have at all, I don't think, in my collection.
I love food items.
I think the closest thing I would have is my my Two-Face. He's holding I think is it brandy or whiskey or something from that iconic bar scene. I think that's the only food item I would have.
Yeah, bottles of liquor.
Yeah.
I like having, and pretty much anything they can hold in their hands. But I am a sucker for a nice base. Cool. I've got this real cheap look one that I purchased on eBay, but it looks amazing, and it's right here actually. And I just have Miles sitting on it.
Oh yeah.
It's just a little piece of plastic. It's not resin, so it's super light. But I have him sitting on that, and then I just finished my chair for my Lokis. I had to put all the buttons on it, so I've got my armchair, and I'm gonna have Loki sitting in it with all the Lokis around him, posing with him. So I'm looking forward to this one. So yeah,
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Eddie, what about yourself, good sir? What's your favorite accessory to have in the collection?
Favorite, I'll try to stick to accessory. Some of the ones that stand out to me are the hologram base that comes with is it the Obi-Wan Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith? That accessory is cool to me. The little shot glass that you get with Two-Face from the Dark Knight, that's a cool accessory. I tend to use weapons the most, or things like that. The Iron Man Mark 50, if you get the accessory set, that's a really cool set to have that you could do a bunch of cool stuff with. But the one thing that popped to my mind quick, but it's not really an accessory, it's more like a dio / even a character, I guess. I have two 1/6 scale horses with two different figures, and those really like set off the figure to me. Like, I have a horse with my Zorro, and I have a horse with my General Thad from Planet of the Apes, and those are really cool. Like, they always draw my eye in the collection, and so those are pretty cool to me. But
Horses,
yeah.
Cool, man. No, that's cool. I have seen Zach's horses, I think, in person. That's the only 1/6 scale horse I've seen.
He has the same. His is the same as mine.
impressive.
It's just a different color. Same
Mr.
company
Z?
and everything. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Mr.
that's best
Z.
horses. Yeah.
what horses do you have, Money? Do you have the Lucifer horses, or?
No, it's by Mr. Z Toys or Studios or something, and they're I got it to go with my Blitzway Zorro. It's a black, so like a black stallion.
I'm hoping that one of those horses aren't called Artex. I can't relive that.
Wow.
Oh no, trauma.
Well, and
Traumatic.
Pete, I'm going to show an accessory that you shared with me earlier here, so I don't want to be spoiling it necessarily, but are there any that stand out for you in your collection? Because
Well, I
you've got
was
a very
gonna
unique
mention-
collection. We don't get to see it very
I
often.
was going to mention the bag of dicks that you get with the seamless bodies.
The
I mean,
Fisons.
you know, they're endless hours of fun. They are huge. Some of them.
Bison or Python?
barely 1/6 scale. Like, what
Yeah,
are you saying?
absolutely. But I think what you're alluding to is CCFL lightsabers. So yeah, I make my own. So I just finished another one today. So yeah, probably those would be. I've got about 18 on the go around me at the moment now. So
Damn.
you can see
I
a
need to
few
hit
in the
you up on
background,
that.
but.
I need to get sorted on that because I've got my Darth Vader and my Luke Skywalker posed up with their lightsabers, and they're just they look turned off. I just like it's so sad for a lightsaber. It's like they need to be turned on in a way. So I gotta hit you up on that. I think. Shane, last of course but not least. What about you? Little Guinness glasses with all your figures?
Potatoes.
Oh, you funny cunt.
Cheers. Not Guinness.
Cheers.
Coke.
Are you actually drinking Guinness?
No, it's not. It's Coke.
It's Ribena. Oh my god.
You're right, Peter.
All right. Yeah, no, like I think the ultimate accessory is a CCFL. To be honest, I think they just look stunning. Like they just the Hot Toys ones, whether they're battery powered or the new USB power wired, while that is a step in the right direction, it's just not all the way there. It's just the CCFLs tend to just look like lightsabers. Yeah, so that'll be that. Yeah, but apart from that, I do like I do like cigarettes and cigars and stuff like that, and little like bottles of whiskey and alcohol. The Tommy Shelby comes with his own gin bottle, which in the show if you're a fan, he makes he has a gin company. He comes with different types of cigarettes. One of them has actually a little plastic smoke plume, which I thought, that's going to look terrible, but it looks great. It actually looks very convincing that there's smoke coming out of it. His brother Arthur comes with a cigar and a bottle, and there's always a few tumblers there as well. So yeah, hats as well. I in general, like say the Joker, the DX08, it's just that kind of hat that he comes with, or even the controversial Cad Bane hat that wasn't big enough. Still bloody cool, and it was kind of felt material, so I really like that. Yeah, just in general, like 6-scale accessories are cool. I'd like a 6-scale bike, like a cycling bike.
Like a cycling bike.
You know, if there's a character who hops on a bike and just actually cycles where, and if the actual like chain worked on it and spun the wheel, that'd be pretty damn cool.
That would be really, really cool. What do you guys end up doing with all of your accessories? Do you keep them in the box? Do you guys have like little storage bins? Like I keep mine in kind of a mostly in the box. Like, I keep mine mostly in the box, or like the ones that I use most, I keep in like a, I don't know what you call it, like a Tupperware container.
Yeah, so. No, I don't leave anything in the boxes. I put them all
I like how Ben was like, I keep mine in a...
Trying to keep
is this?
most.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Don't worry about it. Okay, don't worry about it.
I keep mine in one of those too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, you know, Shane, I was
bottom
looking
of the
for
hamper.
a bicycle also. That's something I've been looking for. I had a little plastic 10, well, it was a plastic one, and it was a 10-speeder that went with a statue. But the only thing that thing would be good for would be standing next to a figure, because, you know, they couldn't really ride it, but I mean sit on it properly. But I'd love to get one of those. But I have lots of motorcycles. I have a little Vespa and some motorcycles, and I've got like the Cloud Harley motorcycle thing that they have in there, and that thing is really, really cool. So yeah, things that they can sit on are just really, really fun. But yeah, I would love to have a bike.
Must not make inappropriate joke.
I was going to say, we come right back to my original answer.
For some reason, the phrase "giggity goo" was just coming. No.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
I thought he was here.
Yeah, and that's if the figure can even sit. Like, I just got the Green Goblin in my collection, and I love
So
it.
you
I
like
think
Goblin?
I think it's a pretty fantastic figure. I was prepared. I prepared myself. But as much as I love the figure, he's like not posable at all. Even the photo that you see on the box itself, it's like you would absolutely destroy the figure if you try and bend him into that position. So he's not sitting on anything, unfortunately. But on that note, guys, we got almost 40 people watching live. I think we should check in with the chat before we get
Can I
much
just say,
more.
did I miss the lumberjack shirt memo again?
Yeah, we
Damn.
said earlier.
Yeah,
it's
all us
Thomas's
potato
birthday.
eaters have one.
That's the only thing that Shane wears most of the time. So, but you know, like, no, Thomas wanted to wear his black flannel, so I said I'd pull mine out of the wash and do it. So, guys,
Cool.
Let's say hello to everybody.
Is that everyone? I can want it more.
Nuts!
Assemble.
Alrighty, let's start off with our members first here from the Tough Nut crew. We got Alvin J, Collecting Weekly Money Menda, 6-Scale Mafia, 6-Scale Mafia, Katera, Feezy's Figures, King Dingling, Sith Scale Collector, Paul Schreiber, The Batman, The Movie Canon, 1/6 Focus, SpongeBob SquareBalls, The Empire Strikes, Peter Cass, Ryan Smith, Collector Joey, Sam Gist, 14 Wellington, Jose G. Hernandez, 12-inch Moose Stream, Collection Obsession, and Blurred Dad Life. All Tough Nut members, thank you guys so much for supporting the show as always. Let's check in with our chat here because we got a lot of folks with us. We got Sam Gist here, says, what's up, boys? Thalia Meyer, hey everyone, good to see you here, buddy. We got 12-inch Moose Stream, hello community of collectors. We got to get done by kickoff. Totally agree, bud. We'll do our best. The Movie Canon, I was streaming with him yesterday morning. Great show over there. Make sure you check it out if you missed it. He says, hello collectors, Ben Thomas Show, get a little nutty before the game. Heck yeah, buddy. We got Akira here with us. Hey, Ben and crew. Good to see you, bud. Thanks for joining in. _Empire Strikes. Hey, you bunch of nutters. Love to see it. Cylon. Hello, my people. Love to see it. X-Men Supreme. Good to see you here, buddy, as always. We got Collection Obsession, one of our members here. Hi, Ben. Live long and prosper, good sir. Glad you're here. We've got the Eclectic Collector. What's up, everyone? Shiny. Jar Jar beats Qui-Gon 9 out of 10 times. Damn, there you go. I mean, maybe we'll still see a 6-scale figure at some point. I'm hoping out. Darth Tamaris, we got, hey, it says, what's up, Ben? Good to see you, buddy. I like that intense picture. It's very dark side Anakin. I love to see that. We got here, who else we got? Oh, Mark Mitchell says, hello, Ben, and hello, everyone. We got Action Figure Academy. Hello, Benjamin. We got Noble Young. Ben is sharing the bowl of nuts. I don't share my bowls of nuts, to be fully honest. Those are usually mostly kept from me. We got Primetime Reviews. What's up, guys? Let's see who. Oh, we got Pop Culture Living Room here in the chat with us. Costa himself. Good to see you. I'm sure most people have seen the Costa Case video, but if you have not, go and check it out. Really cool display for sure. We got Sith Scale Collector here, one of our members as well. Says, hello, what's up, everyone, with the nuts at the end there. I think we've got most people. We got Joe the Grateful Geezer. Love to see it. I think it's a newer name in the chat with us here, so thanks for joining in, good sir. Good to see you here. We got King Dingaling, a channel member himself. What's up, guys? Love to see it. We got Noble Young, Classy, happy birthday. Absolutely, buddy, absolutely. We got Collection Obsession in the chat with us. Nut Fun, happy birthday, Classy Thomas. Love to see it. Eddie Money Mendez himself, of course. We got Agent Silver Fox here. Love to see it. Thought Shane was going to sing Oasis, Cigarettes and Alcohol. Love to see it. If you come on and sing that, Shane, next time, you'll get your own spot, okay? We got Vintage Repellion Podcast. Sup, guys? Good to see you here, buddy. I think that is everyone. If I missed anybody, shout me out in the chat. I will make sure I say hello to you guys. Just some real quick housekeeping. If you're interested in the Tough Nut membership, these are some of the member badges that go beside your name while you're in the chat with us. As you can see, several of us are progressing upwards. Now several of us are now the Dark Nut, up from the Batman Begins one, or the Bat Nut Begins. So keep that in mind if you're interested. The link is there for you guys in the chat. But let's move on because we got a big show to still get through here. Pete, you shared this with me in the show sheet chat. Tell me a little bit about what we're looking at here, buddy. Of course, it's Mace Windu, but
yeah. It's the Toys Works Saber Master that came out probably about 5 years ago. Unlike Eddie, I don't rate the Hot Toys Samuel Jackson sculpt.
Hater.
I'm sure everything else would be nice, but they need to work on that sculpt. So this one was, I think they brought out a Qui-Gon as well. It wasn't so good, but I always like this one. I think it's a recast of the Hot Toys. What's his name?
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury, yeah, the second one. So, and that was a good sculpt. So, yeah, I got him for £100, which I thought was pretty good. He's had a body swap. He already had I think it's got a World Box body on it, which better matches the head sculpt colour. The robes are really nice. I wasn't sure how good they'd be, but they're pretty good. They're, good quality. It's got sort of material boots as well. So a massive step up from the kind of the sideshow one that I had. And I mean, I hope that I really hope that the Hot Toys one comes out and it proves me wrong, but I think at the moment it's a little bit lacking. But yeah, so then I just knocked up a lightsaber for him.
Looks awesome.
So he has the unique pink purple lightsaber, so he's got to be in there. So he's squaring off with Jango Fett behind me there.
Nice.
So you can see the purple glow, but
Yeah, I'm impressed by the lightsaber, especially. Just the color and the brightness level.
Yeah.
That's really,
Oh,
really
they're
good.
shit bright. I just balls to the wind me, so I just go full power. I know Shane goes like 50 or 25%. Fuck it. I just
That's all us Irish guys need, Pete.
yeah.
That's all we need.
That's awesome.
I like it to burn my retinas.
I agree with you too, Pete. I actually think the sculpt is pretty solid. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. At least from these photos, they look really nice.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? If the Hot Toys one comes out and it doesn't win you over, then heck yeah, you already got it in your collection. Some money saved, right? So,
Exactly.
that
yeah.
Hot Toys one's got to be coming anytime now. You think?
Yeah,
it's at least been a year, I think, since it was announced, because I was still in my old house at the time. So, hopefully,
I think it's
we'll
in
see
its
soon.
release window now, isn't it? It was like
Gotta be in the
Feb to
window.
June or something. So yeah.
Yeah. So sticking with Star Wars then, which is kind of fun that you brought this one to us today, Pete, because this popped up in the feed this week for entertainment news, and it's the 25th anniversary of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and it's returning to theaters on May 3rd of 2024. So I think we actually talked about Phantom Menace briefly last week, because I talked a little bit about how I had the old carded figures out in the playground. We used to trade them. We had the, like the comm box where you could hear their voices depending on the figure. I still have the Darth Maul on card here in my collection. I love that figure especially. It was our introduction to Darth Maul as a character, and while some folks didn't love the film, he was still easily one of my favorite additions to the Star Wars universe. Loved it. And to be honest, because this is so nostalgic for me, it's been since I was 10 years old. I'm 36 now, so 26 years, 26 years since I've seen this film. I'll 100% go to the theater and check this out. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm also excited because Hot Toys Star Wars has kind of teased that Phantom Menace figures are likely on the way. They haven't told us what. But I mean, I think a lot of us are at least hoping for another Darth Maul, maybe a Jar Jar Binks. I was talking about Queen Amidala last week. I think she'd be great. So there's a couple in here that I would love to see. But Eddie, is this a film that has nostalgia for you? Would you go back to the theater and see this? And what Hot Toy would you expect or hope for from the Phantom Menace if Hot Toys goes down that line?
Hell yeah, it's nostalgic for me, man.
Nice.
I've said this before. It was either this or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. That was the first movie that I remember seeing in theaters. This or that one. And I always forget which one it was, but I was really young, and those are my first theater experiences that I can remember. So amazing. And Qui-Gon's my favorite Jedi, so obviously I love that. And as far as figures, man, I think the obvious answer is Obi-Wan, but I really want Anakin in the pod racer outfit. Like, I really want that, so I'd almost take that and be fine with not getting Obi-Wan, but I think Obi-Wan's a more likely possibility. And then, yeah, it's funny, I saw Return of the Jedi. Was it Return of the Jedi that was just in theater last year? Yeah, we saw that at OxCon, I think. And then
we saw Empire in
did we see Empire? Okay, yeah. Well, I saw Return of the Jedi in theater with Adriana then. And then this one is coming out the weekend of CaliCon. So I'm nice. I'm kind of like, dang, do we throw that on the agenda, and like whoever doesn't want to go do something else, like a bunch of us could go see this? That would be cool, I think, to hang out. I don't know how many of those guys would want to do that because they're coming from out of state, and I'm not gonna force it on anybody, but I might have to sneak away and go check it out myself.
Hours.
Yeah, because I love Phantom of the Menace.
Yeah. Well, if I make it to CaliCon, which I'm still trying to work out, I'll join you on that one because that'd be fun. I'd love to see that
dude.
again.
You put out,
heck yeah,
though?
buddy. Heck yeah.
All right.
Mandate. Not too well. Not on the first day.
I don't know.
I heard you were not sharing my bucket of nuts.
Dude.
Okay, don't worry
about it. I heard
you
were pretty easy, honestly. So.
Classy Thomas, is this a nostalgic film for you, buddy? And what one character would you hope to see in Hot Toys form from this film, if you can even pick one?
Well, I can't say that it's my favorite. I'm more the original trilogy a person, and so I wasn't really fully invested in episodes 1 through 3, but I've seen them, and I do like the whole lineage thing. The building up of developing Darth Vader into who he is or who he became. So I think that if I were looking for a figure, I already magic.
Magic, cool.
Yeah, she's
awesome.
Sorry, I had to step away for a second. My sister surprised me. She actually came up to visit. So that was a nice little pleasant thing. That's the reason why I had to black out. But yeah, I think
Don't black out on Let's Get Nuts, buddy. Okay.
Oh yeah, exactly. The black guy's blacking out, of course.
No, not what I meant. I meant drinking.
Okay.
Pass out. Oh my god.
But I have Padme on her way, but I would probably be excited if they did the Amidala and the robes and the white makeup and everything like that. That would be very, very cool. And maybe the young Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, young Obi-Wan. Heck yeah.
That one would be kind of cool too.
Heck yeah. I'm also maybe even hoping for an artisan Qui-Gon at some point, or Qui-Gon. How do you say him? Qui-Gon? I don't know. I don't want to take too much heat. What? Egon?
Liam.
One of your own, Shane.
You hate to see it. Pete, what about you, buddy? I know you love the original trilogy. Was this one that pissed you off when it came out? Did you like it?
It did, but then I think I came at it. I was very. I kind of expected to hate it. It's funny that you mentioned the original Spider-Man, Eddie, because both this and that I watched like on a pirate. It would have been a DVD at the time, I suppose, just about. So I kind of saw episode 1 in the worst way possible. Really ropey picture quality. So the underlying film and the dialogue and stuff just didn't, taken on its kind of face value. I hated it, but obviously, having seen it in the cinema and stuff, and the whole just visual splendor of it, I didn't mind it so much. I did hate on them for a long time, and I always said I wouldn't have any figures from them. But I think time has changed that a little. The dodgy sequel trilogy helped with that it kind of put these in a more positive light for me. And weirdly enough, Jar Jar aside, because he's still quite annoying, although a figure of him would be, I don't know if I'd buy him or not. I might do, just for kind of novelty value. Of the 3 prequels, I think I go back to this one. I kind of quite like the whole build up at the start, quite mysterious. And then you've obviously got the awesome Duel of the Fates and stuff like that. So if you put me them in front of me now and said which one do you watch, I'd probably watch The Phantom Menace. So I would consider going. I'll probably take my son to see it in the cinema, because he's not seen any of them in the cinema. I've watched them all at home. And yeah, there's some good stuff in there. For me, I'd love to see a Droidica. They've kind of done the battle droid, they've done the super battle droid. It'd probably be a £400-500 figure, because they're pretty big. But yeah, Droidica would be awesome. Obi-Wan would be cool. And yeah, I agree with Eddie with Anakin, because Sideshow didn't even touch that. The only option you've got is a Hasbro one. It's like really dodgy so
Fair.
Yeah.
I'd also love to see a Watto even paired with a couple pit droids.
Yeah.
I think that could be cool, just like to gain a little value in there. That could be cool. I also thought, because Hot Toys does seem to avoid like child bodies, it seems at this point. Obviously InArt's doing it with their Harry Potter line, but Hot Toys seems to avoid it. I wonder if we could get like a pod racer with like a half bust of Anakin instead. So it's like you'd still kind of have the kid Anakin, but it would be in like permanently affixed in the pod racer itself. Like that could still be a cool display for Star Wars fans. But yeah, Shane, what about you, buddy? Is this one that you have nostalgia for? Is it kind of one that like you didn't love? Would you collect from this line? Where were you at on that?
I kind of grew out of it, really. Like, I mean, like I love the original trilogy, and then when I saw these in the cinema, I was like, right, they're not the same, but I did enjoy them at the time. And the older I got, and I'm like, I've said multiple times, like all my collecting is rooted in my love of movies and film. I'm I'm really trying so hard to say film properly these days. And I just I don't think they're good movies, to be quite honest, like nostalgia or not. With that being said, the best lightsaber duel in the whole of Star Wars lore, as far as I'm concerned, is the end of Episode 1. I mean, Darth Maul was probably the best thing that comes out of the prequels. You had a character who's Ray Park in his prime, he was a martial arts expert. The guy could move. You had a double-bladed lightsaber. He aesthetically looked evil, and you wouldn't mess with him. You know, a sage, wise Liam Neeson. Obi-Wan was fantastic as well. There was a lot of good about Episode 1. The pod racing scene, the desert scene, Anakin drop, the opening scene. There was a lot of good stuff in the prequels. Overall, they're not something that really blows me away, and I don't collect from them. But I think an Obi-Wan Episode 1 is inevitable, and I think people want that. I think they're going to do a Queen Amidala. I think they're going to get the same version of the third party, only perhaps better. I think it'd be very easy for them to do a Padme with just a different outfit now from just the end of Episode 1, when she's kind of more her militant outfit or whatever. Droidic. I can see the Droidica coming. Genuine. I just think that's just something that can happen, as well as a few 2.0s, whatever. But yeah, look, for the people that are diehard prequels fans, like the likes of Eddie there, like I hope Hot Toys gives a few absolute bangers there. Like Eddie's in a spot of bother now because Han Solo's been released, so that's opened up the floodgates. So he's going to have to be selling his body down the docks in order to pay for all this stuff. So
Eddie's working on his Han Solo haircut, though. I think from Return of the Jedi. I like it. It's got the coiffed look. It looks nice.
Yeah, this is it.
Not quite a helmet though, but it's.
No, you got.
You're working on it. Like.
You got to brush it in a little bit.
That one came out of nowhere. Eddie, I salute you. What a guy! What a guy!
We also had a $10 or €10 super chat here from ONESIXTHFIGUREFOCUS himself. Says, to apologize for potentially getting Ben demonetized for playfully calling Pete. See you next Tuesday. It's a term of endearment around these parts.
It's like the highest compliment.
It
Absolutely.
is.
Have you not watched OFAC on a Thursday?
I mean, I did wonder why we never got any money. I understand.
I basically just adopted him, like, you know.
That's okay. I got the show demonetized myself last week because I shared too much of that Batgirl on Batbike scene, and
Really?
Warner Bros slapped me immediately with a restriction. So immediately, and I was like, oh,
what was it? A cake alert or something like that?
I just can you imagine? Too much cake. You'll have to see it, but no, don't show Warner Bros content on any stream because you will get slapped.
They were already
immediately.
They were already on this channel. They were like, it's the fucking nut guy again.
Yeah,
It sounds
they're
like there's
watching
actually
again.
must be, unless it's a computer algorithm thing, but there's actually people.
100%.
I still get things pop up on Facebook from like a video, a short I put on there probably about 7 years ago of indie with the indie music, and it's like, oh, we've just blocked that because you used their music, and I'm like, blimey. When did I do that?
And Warner Bros. Got me a little while ago because the dark nut here up in the top right corner, Dean made this. He drew it himself. Yeah. That's a nut with bat wings on it and everything. I put it on a T-shirt on TeePublic. Warner Bros. Slapped me on TeePublic as well. Like immediate. All the other ones got approved. Nobody cares. Warner Bros. Batman done.
That's why I didn't break into song and start singing Oasis cigarettes and alcohol. I didn't want you to get demonetized.
I appreciate that. Shane, this is for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was that first clip from Equilibrium?
It is. Yeah, good catch.
Deep cut.
Wow, good
Great
spot.
movie.
Great catch,
movie.
yeah.
I like that you threw the fox in there too.
Yeah, well, because I recently watched that with you guys on Collecting Weekly, and I ended up liking it. So, guys, let's move on to the next topic. But let us know in the chat and on the replay, if you can, are you guys going to see this film in theaters, and what Phantom Menace do you hope Hot Toys makes? I would love to hear from you guys in the chat. We can feature some comments next week if we got some cool answers, ones maybe we did not think of. We also have 52 people watching live. Thank you for joining Let's Get Nuts Sunday. We're keeping it a short show. We got about an hour left of the show before we all go off to watch the Super Bowl. But if you don't mind hitting a presumptive like on the stream, it just helps drive traffic to the folks who might get a chance to watch it after the Super Bowl today. I would definitely appreciate it if you guys can remember to do so. Let's move on here. We have Game of Thrones news. a spin-off about the Targaryen conquest of Westeros is in the works. Now, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan up until season 8. Season 8 really defeated me as a person. I really felt upset by it. And then when House of the Dragon was announced, I actually really loved House of the Dragon, and I can't wait for season 2. And now they're looking at going back to before the House of the Dragon for Aegon, Aegon the Conqueror, I think it was called, especially. And it sounds like an interesting show. Sounds like there's a lot of like sister wives and stuff built in. So if that floats your boat, all the power to you. I think it should be an interesting show. I think history of these programs, like the world building, is the most exciting part if it's done well. And again, with House of the Dragon, I didn't think I'd like it, mostly because I felt like we already know where their story goes, right? We already know that eventually it gets to the Game of Thrones series, so we know the history of these people, but going back and seeing it happen kind of live in front of us was a really cool take. So I'm kind of excited about this. Pete, what are your thoughts on this news?
Because I'm up for any of this stuff. Although interestingly, I don't know if you've read it somewhere, that they shouldn't really be calling them dragons, because a dragon has 4 legs and 2 wings. These are technically wyverns, apparently.
Nerd. Yeah. Hey, Dean said the same thing to me. So
Did he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he said the same
I just
thing.
love the way we've got David Attenborough here to correct us on the species differences between
Exactly.
these dragons.
You've got to get it right. The fossil record. Yeah, no, I think again, Game of Thrones was absolutely incredible. One of the best shows ever until they, just fucked it up at the end. I always loved the first series, so I think this ties into that, because there's all that, all the lore and the history and all that kind of thing. So yeah, and I enjoyed House of Dragon as well. House of the Wyvern. So
it doesn't roll off the tongue in this.
it doesn't. No. Yeah, I'm up for this, definitely.
Heck yeah. What about you, Shane? What were your thoughts on House of the Dragon, House of the Waverland, whatever the heck it's called, and this new one?
It's so important that if you're telling a story, whether that's a comic book or just a novel or a movie or TV show, that you have a start, middle, and an end. Game of Thrones, it just had a start, a middle. It had like 90%, and you're dead right. Season 8 it was just like they went, let's get this done. Tie it up. It's the same thing with the Matrix trilogy. The start was epic, and then it just so that's my thoughts on Game of Thrones, exact same yours. I have not watched House of the Dragon.
Wow. Okay.
I haven't actually watched it, but I will watch it. I just haven't got around to it. I think maybe because of the kind of
bad taste
hangover from season 8. I know it's terrible because it's supposed to be very, very good. Also, I've kind of gone back to a few of these spin-off series from, like, I watched that Rings of Power. That's multiple hours of my life that I'm not getting back.
Oh, come on.
I just thought it was... No, I just thought, honestly, I've said this phrase before, like, rather jump off the Empire State Building and land on a bike with no saddle. I just thought it was absolutely nonsense. Like, but look, so there's a bit of a... Yeah, I'll watch House of the Dragons. I've heard it's good, but yeah, no.
You got to watch it. I also didn't love the Lord of the Rings spin-off show either, so I'm with you on that one, Shane. But
come on.
But I'm not as big of a Lord of the Rings fans as like Peter or Zach or those guys, right? And so because Dean said he ended up even enjoying it, I think, and like I trust those guys' judgment. But for House of the Dragon, I was pleasantly surprised with how good it was. I think you would enjoy it, Shane, for sure. We seem like we have the same tastes in a lot of things there. So, Eddie, what about you, buddy? Any thoughts on Game of Thrones here? Is this something that you get excited about? Want to collect from? Anything like that?
Yes, I love Game of Thrones. I liked House of the Dragon. I think I like it more just because it's the Targaryens and it's part of Game of Thrones. And I will say that it is nowhere near the love that I have for Game of Thrones. It's much, much less. And I'm a little... I am very interested in Aegon's story, and he's supposed to have one of the best, like the coolest dragons of any of the Targaryens, so that's kind of cool, and I want to see that play out on TV. But I don't have a lot of hope for the writing for the show, unfortunately. So we'll see. Like it's like a 50-50 thing with me. But with Game of Thrones, dude, I loved it. I was like everybody. I hated season 8. I've watched it recently, and I don't hate season 8 as much as I used to. That might just be like settling, but watching it all over again, like, it didn't bug me as much. So I'll say I have more love than I did when it originally aired.
I also always wonder what people didn't like about season 8. Like, and hopefully it's not a spoiler. It's been out for a really long time. I felt like it was the payoffs that drove me the most nuts. We watched 7 seasons of the show that built up all these characters, right? Jaime Lannister starts out as an absolute nightmare person, goes through, becomes somebody that you absolutely root for, and then he just goes back to Soo Soo, right? Just like what happened to his character arc, like what happened with that goes back to her. We see Jon Snow, who we think the whole time is going to be the one that ends up defeating the White Walkers, not being the one that defeats the White Walkers, right? Like, just so many things. Arya, she's the one that kills him. Like, who wins the Game of Thrones? The dude in the wheelchair who isn't the Night King, which was fan theories were like, man, they look the same. Like, does he somehow become the White Walker? Like, so many things.
That is the most annoying thing, because that little fucking cunt in the wheelchair is the one who started the whole thing.
Now we're demonetized for sure.
It's my bad. He's the whole reason that happened, and he becomes king. I'm like, he played that. He did that. He knew that.
How amazing was the Hodor episode?
That wasn't amazing.
Yeah, man.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That was an amazing episode.
But this is the thing. There was so much thought that came into that like, when you realize why he's always saying that, and you go, oh my god, that's why he's been saying that for ages. But then you get, Bran, you'll do. Like, it just, it doesn't. It's like, lads, what is going on? It's just like, it's 5 o'clock, my shift's over, and Bran wins the day. It's no. I don't get it.
Okay, Classy, any final thoughts on Game of Thrones here, buddy, before we move on? Birthday boy. I almost called you birthday girl. I apologize.
I forgive you. No, I mean, I think it should be pretty cool. Like Eddie, and from the beginning, I didn't hate season 8. I did see there were a lot of flaws, and the season, even though they made the episodes longer, it seemed like they were in too much of a hurry to wrap things up properly. It was like, well, let's just put an end on it, stamp it closed, and move it on. And that was the only problem that I had. Now, I loved that Arya was the one who kind of did her thing with the White Walkers. The only issue I had was that she didn't have the same connection with the White Walkers, so the payoff wasn't as good. Yes. But it was a payoff for her arc because of everything that she had been through. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why I kind of was happy that she was the one.
I can forgive that one. Yeah.
At the end, like how they ended off Daenerys, and it just all felt rushed, and that was the problem I had. I thought that it would have been better, instead of trying to wrap it all up into one mini season, why not give it the proper season that it should have had, and major arcs end the way they should. That would have been better. But I think that I didn't see House of Dragons yet, but I'll probably be checking it out, and I'm kind of into this lore, so I would be interested in seeing the Game of Thrones spinoff. I doubt that I would collect any figures from it per se, because that's not really the direction that I'm collecting. I'm collecting more heroes and more modern superhero type of things. Mm-hmm. But even though I do have a few of those figures, because I like 3-0. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this should be pretty cool. I'm kind of excited about it.
Okay, well said. Classy as always. Good, sir. Absolutely. Guys, let's move on, but let us know, are you guys excited for this show? Are you hoping to collect anything even from House of the Dragon going forward, or this new show that's around the corner? Hopefully it's good. I'll get my fingers crossed, that's for sure. We got Shane trolling people in the chat, says 57 watching and only 22 likes. Maths. And then Mike Latour says maths. Love to see it. Guys, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Let's move on. I'm going to blast through these next couple. I'm not going to get necessarily a full panel take on it, but I just wanted to give some really brief overthoughts because I want to make sure we don't run too long today. March 7th, there's an update for the Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and it's adding some new suits, a new game plus, and more. So I already beat this game, loved it on the PlayStation 5, so much fun. 100%, got my Platinum trophy. And it took me, I think, about, I know, right? Well, pretty fancy. It took me about 37 hours to beat it. And as good as it was, it's like as soon as it's beat, it's kind of just in the drawer now, right? So I'm excited for this news. I just wanted to give people the heads up in case they were feeling the same way that I was. Really fun game. The other thing that popped up in my feed was the new video game for the Suicide Squad, Kills the Justice League. It's been getting a lot of hate, and I don't want to go too much into it, but one thing that I did want to highlight was on the picture on the left, this is from Arkham Knight in 2015. The picture on the right is the picture from the newest game here now. The downgrade in graphics that we're seeing lately in video games is shocking. So as a community of collectors, people who like video games and movies and television and everything, I think it's time that we start being more vocal about our thoughts on this, because I don't think that this is okay. I think this looks lackluster on the right. It hasn't made people want to buy the game, and some of the content of that game has been very controversial, especially with and hopefully this isn't a spoiler because it's been quite a few of the streams now. Batman being killed. Kevin Conroy passed away last year, so this is technically Kevin Conroy's last kind of voiced appearance of Batman, and he takes a bullet to the head in the game. And I haven't played the game, I've just seen spoiler footage, and it's like, man, it's not very tasteful, it's just not great. So I think as a community, let's be more vocal with this moving forward, because I think this looks terrible. Now, there's some spoiler images here that we're looking at from Daredevil Born Again on the way. The only reason I wanted to show you guys this is I'm kind of hoping that we get more Hot Toys from Daredevil. I've been wanting to go back and buy the original Daredevil, but I keep stopping myself from buying backwards because I do think that we're going to get more from Born Again here. I don't even think this will be even the final suit. I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of the initial suit that we see, especially since they're showing us in some spoilery images floating around line. I could see them giving us another version or maybe a couple. We do have the red and yellow suit on the way from Hot Toys already pretty soon, I think. Hopefully that's got to be in the next couple months. I've also been eyeing up that She-Hulk figure. And I think Classy, you said you've got the She-Hulk ordered, I think, right? So, I kind of want to get the She-Hulk, and I'm going to wait, I think, for the ketchup and mustard Daredevil. I think I'm going to go with a red suit if they bring it back. Is anybody else excited about Born Again here, or the possibility of figures coming from the line?
Oh yeah. I am. I can't wait for the red suit. I have the I can't remember, is it Sideshow or Hot Toys Daredevil? I think it might be Sideshow. And it's a red suit. The suit looks great. The head sculpt looks very, very, is lacking, but this looks amazing, and I'm all in on Daredevil. Daredevil is one of my favorite characters, and so I'm all in on this. I hope they give us a bullseye. I hope he's in the series, and I hope we get a proper bullseye. And I would like them. I don't know if they're going to get around to it. I wasn't a big fan of the Elektra from the TV show. I would love for them to do a proper comic book Elektra. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome. Because she's amazing.
Heck yeah. And I see some people don't think this X-Men Supreme doesn't love the look of the suit, but excited for the show. I mean, it's one of those things, we might see it in action and really enjoy it. It's hard to know, right? Empire Strike says we all light up that She-Hulk. Heck yeah. Damn spoilers. Y'all are a pain. Sorry, Shiny. Hate to see it, buddy. I apologize. We got Vintage Rebellion podcast here, though, saying Kevin Conroy, specifically, he's got 2 more Batman things recorded yet to be released. cross my fingers for that. If that's the case, I am very, very happy to be corrected on that, because I love Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. He'll always be that for me. Batman the Animated Series, I grew up with that television show. I feel like it shaped half my childhood, and I still collect Batman to this day because of my love for Kevin's interpretation of Bruce Wayne. So yeah, that would be very, very, very good news. Shane or Eddie, Pete, any thoughts on Daredevil here, or any collectibles you might hoping from the show?
No, I'm going to do an Eddie on this, and I can safely say that I've never watched any Daredevil. None of the films,
Oh, yeah,
none
no?
of the TV shows. I don't know, it just
Doesn't do
never
it for
really
you.
caught my eye, really. So, yeah.
I bet
Hence
you
why
would,
I'm out.
did there.
You know,
I bet you would like the first season, Pete. Honestly, there's some really good stuff there with Charlie Cox, and like, I mean, I know Eddie is like, we like bad movies, or traditionally bad movies. I loved the Ben Affleck Daredevil film. I would still go back and watch that. In fact, I actually might put that on a movie of the week for Collecting Weekly at some point. Again, I'd love to see that again. Eddie, any thoughts there, buddy?
I tend to not pick movies that I love that I know people will shit on for movie of the week.
Yeah.
I don't.
Why? It's fun.
Nah, it's not that fun. I don't know why it's not that fun. But yeah, I think I've been vocal about this. Like, I love Daredevil. I love him as a character, man. And I'm not very enthusiastic for the show at all. Just from what we've got recently, I just think it's not gonna live up to the Netflix hype. So the suit, I mean, I don't hate it. It looks like a modern rendition of Daredevil in the comics. So like, it's cool. If they do a hot toy of it, I'll probably want it because I do like the character. And even though I didn't love the She-Hulk version, I do like the way the suit looked. So I might end up picking up that hot toy at some point too. I'm just a big Daredevil fan. So, and yeah, it would be awesome to see Ben Affleck in that figure come out at some point. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited in the fact that it's Daredevil. But like, yeah, I don't have high hopes. Sorry.
No, that's fair. All good. Let's see what happens with it, guys. I'm excited to see it. We got Mr. Musashi in the chat. What's up, Ben and crew? Good to see you here, buddy. He says, I watched Eddie's video about the in-art Joker pricing. Spot on, dude. Was hilarious. It was hilarious. And it prompted Eddie and I to have a voice text message conversation for about a half an hour. So good times there. Now let's move into some figure news before the show is over here for Super Bowl today, guys. Eddie, I wanted to put this up for you.
Bastard.
Now, this is not my photo. Not my photo. This is just from a community member. I apologize. I missed who had posted it. So if it's your photo out there in the world, shout out to you, sir. Thank you for posting it for all of us to look at. We're looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger's version of Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. Now, this is a figure I did not decide to pre-order, despite my, I don't know, like nostalgic affection for that film, despite it not being the greatest movie. I would still love to see a Bane. I'd still love to see a Poison Ivy. I don't love this, but Eddie, I feel like you might be able to change my mind on it, because I know you've got this on order. Tell me what your thoughts were for purchasing or pre-ordering this guy.
I solely pre-ordered on the fact that it was a freeze, and I don't have that, and we haven't. There's no other version of this look of him available for pre-order, so I went ahead and ordered it, and I figured worst case scenario, like I can part swap and stuff if this doesn't come out great, because I think Mars or Soo Soo is either gonna do this version of the armor, because Soo Soo already put up the robe version, which I have on pre-order too. And then I thought, yeah, I could just use this as parts if it doesn't come out as good as the other companies doing it. And yeah, I mean, it looks not the best, but I like that it has a light up effect, and hopefully in hand, like, I'll think differently of it. Maybe like it'll be easy for like a body swap, or I don't know. I got to see it in hand, because to me, like, I mean, it looks like he did in the suit. Maybe not as big as he did in the suit. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm still excited for it. I paid it off already, so it should be here soon. And then I thought, I told this to Ben, like, I thought worst case scenario, I could take off the armor and like have the armor sitting behind the robe version as if that's his armor behind him, like, and he's not wearing it.
Yeah.
So I thought I could use it. I could always use it for that. So
That could be cool.
yeah, we'll see what
Who's
happens.
making this? Who made this?
Dragon Dragon Toys, I think, is the
Okay.
name. And the
Is this
one
their
thing
first
that
figure, or
what was that? Pete?
have they put anything else out before this? Or?
I have no idea, dude. They probably have. I think Joao mentioned some stuff that they
Okay,
had done
yeah, I'd not
also.
heard of them.
The one thing that stood out to me was I did not like the shape of the helmet. I think we all know what that looks like. So
All right, everyone, chill.
yeah, I was like, was it that like pointy in the show? I remember it being more round, and then it does look that pointy in the show. So I was like, all right, well.
If anything, the color seems a little off. Like he's a little bit more light blue, at least from these photos. I mean, it's hard to know 100%, but from the film and some of the clips that I looked at, his blue
his
looks
skin?
a lot like like the light itself.
Oh, okay.
Like
It looks like a
I'll play
deeper
this.
blue.
Yeah, I'll play the clip again real quick.
All right, everyone, chill.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So and I mean, again, that could just be the lighting, could be the photo. Hard to say, but. The other reason I wanted to bring this up to you guys, and maybe you guys have experienced this before, I've seen people posting their pictures of this on Facebook this week, being excited. And people are shitting all over these collectors, being like, this is the worst figure ever. Like, why'd you waste your money? Like, on and on and on and on. And as funny as that is initially, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, man, that kind of sucks. Like, if this is a figure you spent your money on, and you like it, and you're interested in it, and you're excited to get it in your collection, who cares? Why does anybody care that you wanted to put it in your collection, right? Eddie, like you said, you don't like talking about the movies that are traditionally bad but still kind of funny to talk about. I think it's fun because it creates conversation, but not when it's like the vitriol of people, like when you see the true side of some folks come out. So I think if you see those comments out there, and I think for the most part in Let's Get Nuts, we're all a pretty positive community of folks here that watch the show. Let's squash that pretty quick if you see it out there, because I don't think that's right.
The thing that they weren't prepared for is we're buying this because we're Batman and Robin fans. There's nothing you could say to us that hasn't been said already. We were it's a little bit. We're a little bit like we're a little bit like Bane. Okay, you merely adapted the dark. We were born in it. So
Yeah.
Love it.
Well said. Did anybody else on the panel get this guy on order?
Yeah,
No.
mine is actually being delivered as we speak.
Oh,
I got
wow,
my
nice.
notice.
Classy.
Yeah, I have Dr. Freeze and the Soo Soo version, and I think this photo of who posted it, the pictures that they posted, I mean, on the for when they were advertising for it, look amazing, and I think it's because they used it darker. And so it kind of looks a little bit more chrome and more metallic. I think in this light, it looks a little bit more plastic. So that's the only complaint, but I think it's a lighting issue. But I'm looking forward to getting mine.
I also think it's got some amazing potential. Like if you have any ability to have some to be able to do paint work yourself, this would be something I'd almost want to send to Zach to have him weather it up for me a little bit and just play with it, right? Because it wasn't crazy expensive to begin with. If you could tweak it just a little, I think it could look really good. Shane, you were going to mention something there, bud?
No, just your point on like not saying when you don't like something. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but I get what you're saying. If someone's excited about something, they put a post on Facebook. Facebook is, let's face it, the comment section is an absolute sewer, right? So if I saw this on Facebook, I'd scroll through and go, that's not for me, and continue living my life. Exactly. I'm not going to go on and go, why did you buy this, you moron? This looks like XYZ, regardless of what I think about it. And I don't think much about this, but it's I'm not going to go on and go, just what is the point in that? It's like you're trying to rain on someone's parade.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I hate.
But at the same time, if I'm asked on a show like this to give my opinion, which is it's just, look, this is just my opinion, take it or leave it. I think this movie belongs in the same landfill that the E.T. game belongs in. But that's not that's just an opinion. That shouldn't annoy anyone that much. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
But I don't understand. It's I've never disliked a YouTube video. I've just turned off or not subscribed to the person. You know what I mean? I've never left a shitty comment on someone's YouTube video just for on my own account, or like I don't have any like burners, whatever. But you know what I mean? I've never done that. It's just not something I do. But I don't understand the logic of I'm going to write a comment and it's going to annoy this person who's clearly excited about this thing, regardless of how you feel about it.
Yeah, and I'll clarify.
You know what I
That's
mean?
exactly what I meant. It's the vitriol.
Yeah,
on
no,
Facebook.
yeah,
It's the-
exactly.
it's
We're
the
usually,
trying to- yeah,
you know,
it's
you
the
know,
trying
you
to,
said
it's
it.
the-
You were thinking it.
Yeah, it's the trying to take, it's the trying to squash somebody's fun. It's the trying to
I
make them
get you.
feel like
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
for their purchase,
yeah.
right? Like I started this conversation by saying I don't love it, but Eddie, what
get
was the
you.
reason you chose to buy it? Because like I also like to have my mind changed sometimes, and we all, as you know, content creators or whatever you want to call us too. Like sometimes that is fun to talk to the community a little bit, put my opinion out there, and then hear some feedback. I get that with Star Trek figures all the time. Exo-6 has a very wild roller coaster of quality, and so we get a lot of comments on there, all very positive though, because it's like sometimes it's just those people's favorite character. I never loved the Janeway, but I've seen people out there that love the Janeway,
It's
and have
like
given me great
music.
reasons for it.
It's like music. I know that like if I sat down with you guys and showed you like some of the music I love, you'd be like, what is that? What is that noise? You know what I mean? It's so subjective. Like some people are like, you know, like just the folk music, or like, you know, like, you know, country music, or that, I don't know, Swedish death metal or whatever it is, like, but there's something out there for everyone. It's so subjective, really. Like.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Thomas, I'm excited for you to get this in hand. Eddie, I'm excited for you to get this in hand. You guys better show this on either Let's Get Nuts or Collecting Weekly. Either or, I would be excited to see it. But guys, let's move on here. Jazz Inc. showed us what their art box design looks like for their
that's
1989
That's what
Batmobile.
Yost's doing with your bank account details, Shane.
Yeah, I paid off a chunk today.
Yep. And I'll say I am happy and impressed by the way this looks. And I know that seems maybe kind of crazy because obviously it's the contents of the box that are most important. But I recently unboxed my DeLorean Mark II from Hot Toys. And I gotta say, I was really disappointed because there is no art box on that thing. It is literally just the shipper box with a great picture of the car on the outside. And it's so boring looking for such a premium piece, or what feels like it should be such a premium piece.
Same as the QS19 quarter scale Dark Knight. The shipper,
Oh, yeah?
there's no art
All
box.
right, wow.
Weird.
Yeah,
The shipper, yep, there's no art box.
And
Mad.
it's like, you know, I do keep the shipper box usually for things like storage and protection and some of those things.
Yeah.
But like, if the only picture of the car is on the outside of the box and it's just that ugly shipper, like, I don't know, like there's just nothing special about that at all for the money. Jazz Inc., obviously their prices are pretty expensive for sure for the average collector, for the most part, even for me. I wanted to get this Batmobile, but I couldn't find a place in my apartment where I would put it. It was so much bigger than even the recent like TV stand cabinet that I got for the DeLorean that I was like, okay, I just don't think I can justify it. But I'm very excited to see that not only are they putting the money into the R&D for the quality of the vehicle, but also for how it looks when it comes to your collection. And I think that's great. Shane, you said you got this on order. You're obviously pretty excited. Any final thoughts on the box here?
Look, it's as much as I like a nice art box, the box is just a box. But I like the way they're tying it up with a bow. It's like, have you ever seen Love Actually?
No, I haven't.
Oh, long time
No?
ago. A long
Have
time
you ever?
ago.
There's a scene where Rowan Atkinson is there. He's in this high-end shop, and he's the guy behind the counter. And Alan Rickman's character is buying this gift, and he's buying it in a hurry because he's buying it for this girl he's having an affair with at his office or whatever. And your man's wrapping it, and he's gift wrapping it, and he's adding cinnamon and all this kind of stuff. And it's just really funny because it just like highlights like those high-end shops, like gift wrapping everything like to the extreme. But this is kind of what this is. The product is hopefully going to be glorious, but it's nice the way they're just not cutting corners.
And I think
on,
because they're licensed now, then it kind of needs to
and
have
it has that 80s kind of
highlight it.
like that symbol is how they marketed more or less everything for the movie. Like
absolutely with the gold color. Shane, I just want to. You probably covered it on one of your shows, but at what point? What was the tipping point when you decided to? I know you were very keen on the Hot Toys one. At what point?
I
did
was
you kind
back and forth and back
Yeah.
and forth, and
Because it's a big price jump, isn't it? We
It
don't
is.
need to
It's
go
twice
through-
the price. It's
Yeah,
more than
exactly,
twice
yeah.
the price, Pete. I'll be honest with you.
yeah.
The thing is, it was like I went back and forth in it a lot, and I don't like doing things by halves.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like doing things by halves. Like, I mean, I'll give you just an example. Like, I'm not a good runner, and I tried a few triathlons back about maybe 10 years ago, and the triathlon season in Ireland is basically June, July, and August because it's the only time you might stop raining for 5 minutes. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna continue my running over the year, and I'll get better for next season in a year's time. I said, you know what I'll do? I'll just run a marathon, and I just ran 5 of them, and it was just like, all right, I don't do things by halves, and I just,
Yeah.
I felt like what bothered me was, as much as the Hot Toys one will look, I think the Hot Toys one will look amazing.
Yeah.
Why is it not true 6 scale? And that started playing on my mind, and then I started looking at all the other different things that Yoast was offering, and the both of them, none of them are going to be bad,
No.
and one of them is significantly cheaper and more affordable. But I pass on so many things that I like, so many things that look cool, and I was like, you know what? And this is one of those times where, don't pass. This is the movie that made you love movies. If it wasn't for this movie, you wouldn't be collecting. You know what I mean? And in the future, in many years from now, hopefully, touch wood, like when my parents eventually pass away, I'll still remember the Christmas I got the bloody Kenner Batwing when I was like 6, and I remember watching this at Christmas time with my parents. Like, so there was a lot that went into it. Like, but I yeah, it's I'm really looking for it. I don't mind paying.
I
the
totally
extra money.
agree with you that, you know, like X-Man Supreme says, I couldn't have the Hot Toys Batmobile knowing this exists. You'd always have that niggle in the back of your mind going, I wish I'd gone
He
for
actually
this one.
explained it in one sentence. I went cerebral and way too deep and honest. Sorry.
Has anybody done the measurements and like actually checked if this
I
is
have.
true or 1/6?
Yeah. If you look it up on multiple sources, it will say that, now this is going to confuse you Americans because this is the metric system. I believe it's 6 meters and 60 centimeters is like the size, the length of the actual car they use. I think they had multiple ones, but generally it's that. So if you divide that by 6, it'll be 1 meter and 10, which is what Yoast's product is, and the Hot Toys is 1 meter.
Yeah.
And the Hot Toys will still look good, and it is half the price. But why I don't understand why they didn't make it true 1/6 scale,
Yeah, no.
because they're advertising 6
Great
scale,
thoughts.
and it's not.
No, great thoughts. Pete, did you
And
get
I had
this
it
one?
on pre-order.
You didn't get this one, eh? Did you, Pete?
No, I didn't. I have probably my one and only Yoast piece, the Falcon cockpit. I think you know everyone should own one piece of theirs because they are awesome, and hopefully Eddie, you'll be getting your Batman Forever Batmobile at some point. I know you're back and forth on it as well, but you know, I think Yoast does some great stuff. He you know, they won company of the year at the CW Awards, and he did his little video. Yeah, very high end stuff. But done with love and passion, and you know they've had some QC issues, but I think in general they've dealt with them well. This is going to look incredible, and I can't wait for you to get it, Shane, and show us some pictures and stuff. When's it due out? Have you got a date?
I think it's next year still. isn't it?
No, I'm on a payment plan, and I put the first part of it down in January of this year, so I probably won't pay it off early.
Yeah,
Because I will want to see how, like, I'm getting it anyway, but people, like, I know that, like, people have said you're better off getting later batches because any mistakes will be made in the first one or two, and then there's another train of thought which is like, no, look, they've made the mistakes with previous vehicles, and I think there's some truth in both of those, but I won't be paying mine off early. I'll be patient and I'll watch, and I'd imagine if there are any QC issues, it probably won't be on, you know, the fourth batch, you would imagine. But also, even if there are QC issues, from what I understand, Yoast looks after people.
Yeah. There's always a
So
solution.
a year's time, Pete.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I haven't. I owned the original Hot Toys one for a while, but it was just I've got a lot of stuff here, and it was just I didn't have space for it. It was cool, and obviously this one's even bigger. But it is really cool, having Batman standing next to it. But I did get that. I got the Bat Cycle from the Batman, and that's really cool. So that's good. That's good enough for me.
You already have yours now?
Yeah, I've got the cycle. Yeah.
How do you like it?
It's brilliant. I love it. I haven't bought the Batman. I just wanted the cycle because I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted a 6-scale bike, and I think I'll end up putting my Keaton Batman from the Flash movie on it.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
It's a really cool piece. Yeah. Whether it's worth £325, probably not. But that's the way things gone. So I like it. Yeah, it's really nice.
That makes sense. And a collector asks the question, but who's going to take out a measuring tape and check to see if it's true?
He'll know. You know.
I think
Yost did.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Yost probably did. Yeah. I think it's an interesting question because I would say for the people who absolutely love this, if this is their favorite vehicle, right? If this is the most iconic vehicle they could put in their collection, they're going to care about the measurements. I think if you just love it, if you think it's awesome, it's a piece that you just want to add to your Batman display, but it's not like your number one piece, your number one guy, number one piece, then I think the Hot Toys one is absolutely sufficient and will be amazing. If you want to spend the extra money to try and get that much more accuracy, then yeah, the Yost one was crazy. I do think X-Men Supreme also calls out something good here, which is Yost is on top of customer service. Had a problem with my 66, and he had a replacement piece in the mail the next day. I know 6-scale Mafia has had similar customer service, with Yost there, with his 66 Batmobile as well, with some of the light display. And so I think customer service plays a huge impact, especially at the price point, and that's not the type of service we're going to see much from Hot Toys. Thankfully, Sideshow is a distributor for Hot Toys, because otherwise I feel like we'd never get any customer service from Hot Toys itself. So guys, let's move on, because we got about 15 more minutes before I want to wrap the show for everybody to go and see the Super Bowl here. Neelix from Voyager came out this week. Now, there's been a couple of shows that have covered this a little bit. I did a deep dive on Neelix on Tuesday this past week when he came out. Obviously, for the folks who watch my channel here, The Ben Thomas Show, I have a whole Star Trek section of my show now, kind of dedicated to Star Trek and Exo-6 figures and all of that. So you might have seen my take on this a little bit already, but it's sat with me poorly all week because this is what the figure looks like. And he kind of looks like he's stroking out. Like he looks like he's having a medical problem. Like it doesn't look good. I don't think his face is quite right for Ethan Phillips.
Go back one again. Doesn't anything like him?
Yeah.
The face hair doesn't look good at all, does it?
It's really rough.
He kind of looks like the kid from Stranger Things with makeup on.
Oh my god! Even the spots on the handpiece, like they look like they've been drawn with blue pen.
Sharpie, yeah.
Yeah, right. Look, they don't even no. He's got brown spots on his hands. In every photo I can find, he's got brown spots.
He looks creepy as fuck in those pictures. That's nightmare juice.
Now, through official channels, as soon as I started talking about this, I heard from 6L Mafia, because he works a little bit with Exo-6, that apparently this is not the final sculpt. As soon as this went out for pre-order, an official announcement came from the developer that said, we're still working on the sculpt. We're still working on it. However, obviously the pre-order's still up. They still want to take our money. Yeah, and so
it's a big risk.
Yeah, so that was my question for you guys, right? Like, whether Neelix is not your character or not, it's not even about Neelix specifically. It has more to do with just 6 scale. Like, if we as a collector community are not necessarily happy with a figure, should we still spend the money on the pre-order before we know what the final's going to look like? Because it is kind of like gambling. Now that they've said it, they better do it. Because if they don't, I think Star Trek collectors should rip them apart. I think, honestly, I think that that would be horrendous service if they don't upgrade this sculpt. But the Voyager line so far has been, in my opinion, kind of the weakest line, unfortunately. There's been some other better ones for sure. I love my First Contact Data. I love my Locutus. All the Voyager line I found to be very soft, almost like the C-Team. But again, do we still gamble our money and hope for the best? I don't know. Pete, what do you think in terms of that
not
question?
unless they gave you a full money back guarantee and said, we'll take your money now. You can book your place, you get your guarantee your figure, but if you're not happy with the final product, that we'll give you a full refund. Because I don't think it's fair otherwise. I don't doubt they'll probably improve on this because this is pretty awful, but I also don't think they're going to get anywhere near, the actual character that you showed on the previous page, and it's just odd because that Quark was so amazing,
So good. Yes.
But as you say, like it's almost like, do you think they have different teams?
Yes.
They've got like their A team that they do that one, and then the next.
Yeah, I think they subcontract these lines out. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely would not, even if I'm not a big Voyager fan. So this isn't my. But even if this was, Wrath of Khan or something like that, if I didn't like what I saw in the solicitation, and normally we expect a drop in the quality that we see. So you need that pre-order picture to be amazing, and then you can deal with a drop in quality. But for this, no, absolutely not.
And see, the sculpt actually, makes the character look better, which is actually the way it shouldn't do, because the character looks way worse than what they sculpted. And he
looks like he looks a little more raggedy in the makeup.
That's horrifying. But then they
It's horrifying.
I never thought of it that way. Yeah,
but then they clean him up, and I'm like, why would you make him look better? Because nobody recognizes that. Nobody would know that's who it's supposed to be.
No.
Well, and I'm a big Voyager fan, so it's a painstaking conversation for me. It was every day after high school. I'd come home, bowl of chips, put on an episode of Voyager
chef?
before I would do. Yeah, he was a chef, but he was also.
This is the Steven Seagal of the Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah, so he comes with his ladle, his soup ladle, which I think is fun. He comes with a coffee pot for Janeway because he figures out a way to make coffee in the Delta Quadrant, which I think is awesome. I do think some of the other Voyager line has been better. Collection Obsession, I agree with you. Tuvok, I think, is the best likeness. But it's such a... I loved the show, so the fact that I have not wanted to necessarily collect any of the line is heartbreaking. I'm waiting for Next Generation. Geordie LaForge was announced there a couple weeks back. And while I think they could tweak him a little bit, I still think it looks miles better than even Neelix here. So we'll see. But yeah, question back to you guys, as I said, is are you willing to spend the money on a pre-order before you know what the final will look like? I like Pete's recommendation. If they're not willing to give a full money-back guarantee, I don't think it should happen. Shane, Eddie, SpongeBob, any final thoughts on Neelix here? I know you're not a huge Star Trek fan there, Eddie. So.
No.
Yeah, no.
He's never even seen this guy before.
Oh, he's scary as shit, though.
He'll make you a sandwich.
Wow.
Yeah, I
He
would not
reminds
eat
me
that
of
sandwich. I'm sorry. He's like that guy from Scary Movie, the guy with the little tiny hand.
Wow.
Jeremy Beadle.
Yeah, the guy with the awful looking hand.
Grab a strong hand.
Yeah, that's you don't
called
eat food
perspective.
served by either of them.
Classy.
Oh my god.
It's called perspective. One hand is further away from the camera than the other.
This is the Father Ted meme.
Yes.
Those cows are far away, Dougal.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Guys, let's move on here because we got one piece of Hot Toys news and then a little So-So news, and then that's wrap for today. Valkyrie is here. King Valkyrie. And I finally got to watch The Marvels last night. I don't know if many of you have watched it.
Today.
I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it.
Apart from the singing bit.
The singing, even that made me kind of chuckle, though, honestly. I wasn't expecting it. It reminded me of the twerking scene in She-Hulk, though. It's a little out of left field.
I liked the end credit scene.
The end credit scene
Very
was good.
interesting.
I did.
Yeah.
There was a very brief appearance of King Valkyrie in the movie, which I actually liked her appearance. I thought that was well done. Not wearing the same outfit, unfortunately, but it did.
Business suit,
Yeah, it did give me ideas though. Like, if you got this figure, you could technically take the head sculpt, put her on a business suit, and that would be another look for her. So something to consider. This is my favorite photo from the bloggers. I think that we saw of King Valkyrie here. I think this looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. At first, when I first woke up the day that it came out, and I saw some of these pictures, I kind of did a double take and thought, ooh, I don't think that's as good as the prototype. Because the prototype looked like it had a lot of life behind the eyes. I don't understand why they didn't give her the rolling eyes system, the PERS. I think for any character going forward, that should just be a standard feature at this point. Obviously, for me, you guys know that I love my joints, but I don't love joints on a figure. And so these ones just stand out so badly to me. But from my recollection, the pre-order photos actually had joints at the elbows as well. So they do look like they've upgraded it up to a certain extent, but just not necessarily gone all the way. So that's a disappointment to me. But I do have this girl on pre-order through Sideshow because I did like King Valkyrie. She was my only. This is the only figure I've got coming from Love and Thunder line. But I figured it might be the only opportunity to get her character in the collection. So I've got her on order. I think she'll look really good next to some of the other characters that I got floating around.
Is she
here
the
at
first
the
from
house.
that movie? Because none of the others have come out yet, have they?
None of the others have come out yet.
Yes, none of them.
We're still waiting on Lady Thor, and I didn't like Thor's outfit, to be
No.
fully honest. I thought it looked
didn't
kind of
either.
silly. I didn't like the bright colors on it,
Goofy, yeah.
which was disappointing because I was waiting for that film to get a Thor finally in my collection because I don't have a
You don't have a
Hemsworth.
Thor?
I don't have a Thor. I've purposely not. I almost got Fat Thor a couple times, or Pudgy Thor, or
I
whatever
still
you want
like
to call him.
Darkhold on the best.
Darkhold one. Yeah. See, I'd never.
I thought
got
you
that
would have
one,
gotten
so.
Ragnarok then.
I missed Ragnarok and then didn't want to buy backwards for the extreme prices people were asking for in Canada for it. But Shane, what are your thoughts on Valkyrie here? Is this one that you consider bringing into your collection, or?
I think it's important to, I think as content creators, YouTubers, collectors, whatever, just kind of outline your bias straight away. Like, even if this particular figure was a shrink ray, came with a pulse, and was just like perfect, the best thing since sliced bread, I still wouldn't have bought it because obviously I thought the film was awful. So much so that I've reverted to saying film with two syllables.
I was going to say, what's a film? But
The film, the movie. Well, I just thought it was brutal. Like, but like Tessemae Thompson, I preferred her in. I loved her in the Creed movies, and I thought she was good in Ragnarok. I'm not the biggest Ragnarok fan, but that she was one of the stronger parts. But my point is that no matter how good this figure turned out, I'd still have no interest in her.
Fair.
Even if the movie was amazing. I don't think it's a mega fail or anything like that. I don't like the joints on the shoulders. They're like that. I definitely don't like that. I do think the neck's too skinny, and I do think the head is too big for the body. However, I can see the likeness. I can see Tessa Thompson here. Also, I do think it's rather close to the prototype, to be honest. This is the faults I account now are things that I do believe were present for the prototype. I think the hair is. I think they've nailed the hair. Yeah, I just
looks
think
amazing.
maybe the body proportions are poor. She looked quite athletic in this movie, and I'm not really seeing that here. I don't think it's a massive fail. It's not like in the same boat as the Batman Begins 2.0 or the Tony Stank or the Ant-Man or whatever. But it's just they're kind of looks
fair.
like the prototype to me. I'm just not too interested in it either way.
That's fair. Eddie, I know you said you had to get running there to get off to your event. Any thoughts on this before you wanted to head out, or anything you want to let everybody know where we can find you?
Yep. One big thought. Worst movie ever. I don't care what you say in the comments. It sucked.
And you're a Thor fan.
It
you're
sucked.
You're a
It was
Thor fan.
horrible. Yeah, I love Thor.
Oh, but how good was Russell Crowe as Zeus, eh?
Horrible.
He was pretty bad.
Just
He
Yeah.
came out. This man played Gladiator.
Yes.
he didn't work out much for Gladiator either, though. The figure looks great. Valkyrie looks great. I don't mind the joints. Like, they don't bug me. I think the likeness is there. Her head looks a little oversized to me, like slightly, but not enough to not get it. But I think anybody who was actually gonna get this should still want to get this. I think most of the people that think it sucks are people that weren't gonna get it anyway. So
Right.
but yeah, thanks for having me. Glad I could join before the
buddy.
game.
Yeah.
and-
Enjoy the game.
See,
I gotta
Eddie?
go as well,
Who are
Ben.
you rooting for,
Yeah.
Eddie?
Shane.
All right, Shane.
Niners, but I got money on the Chiefs because I think the Chiefs are gonna win, but Niners are California teams.
Well, let me know if you win, because I'll check in at the halftime. So.
I know nothing about NFL, but I'm gonna wait for. You got money in the Chiefs, yeah?
yeah.
I'm
That'll
gonna
make
wait
it-
for the Niners to take the lead because the odds
Oh
will
my
be better,
God.
and then I'm gonna put money in the Chiefs. Thank you, Eddie.
There you go. There you
Guys,
go.
I gotta go as well.
All right.
Ben,
Thanks, Shane.
thanks
Yeah,
very much
there
for
you go.
having
See
me.
you
on.
guys.
Pete,
Thanks for showing
lovely
up.
as usual, and classy. Just happy birthday, and everyone in the chat. Thanks very
Thank you,
much.
friend.
and thanks,
Listen, I
everyone.
still want to come on a Hope show
See ya.
Yeah, do you got Hope Show
Man.
still tomorrow?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow night.
Right.
Tomorrow night for the Hope
See you
Show
guys.
on,
Yeah.
on One Six Figure Focus.
All right.
See you, buddy.
I'm outta
Thanks
here,
for
guys.
joining.
See you
Right
later,
on.
guys.
All right, guys, we got about 10 more minutes left of the show, and then we'll wrap up for everybody here as well. Classy, what are your thoughts on Valkyrie here? Do you think that the likeness is still good for Tessa Thompson? Do you feel like there was any decrease? What are your thoughts there, buddy?
I think the likeness is actually very good. I too think that the eye, it would have been better with the rolling eye system, but I'm thinking it would have been unless you were rolling the eyes by taking the head off and rolling it from the inside. I don't see a way where with all the micro braids that you could actually remove the head cap to be able to adjust them from the inside like that. So that may have been a reason why, but I think that's one of the reasons why in the photos, her eyes look a little dead. You know what I mean. I mean, it looks a little
Just a
lifeless.
little. Yeah.
And
This photo,
I think
though,
that,
doesn't. Like, part of me
Yeah,
thinks unless it's...
in this, in
Sorry
this
to
one,
cut you off,
it looks-
buddy.
Yeah,
I was
this
gonna
one
say,
she
part of me
actually
thinks
looks
that
pretty good.
part of me thinks it's like different blogger photos, like two
Yeah.
different sets of people doing these photos, because this one looks amazing, I think, and I
Mm-hmm.
see the life, and then I agree with you on some of these other ones for sure.
Yeah, there's something about when they, because most of the figures that they paint with the eyes straight forward, and most people are going to actually veer a little bit to the right or to the left or something like that, or maybe a little lift upward, or if they're looking down, a little downward look, which kind of makes the eyes kind of come to life a little bit. But so I think that the only problem I have are just the eyes. Tessa Thompson her head is actually she has a nice size head. I mean it's not, she doesn't have a tiny head.
No.
And so I don't think that it's really too out of proportion. And the shoulder joints don't bother me because even in the photos they seem to blend in pretty well. So I would I have preferred that they, if nothing else, since her torso is covered, they could have possibly looked into giving us a torso with the arms attached that was all silicone. That would have been a better move. But I'm not really bothered by the seams. I can live with them. I mean, I have Hella, and her seams don't bother me also. I wasn't going to go to the effort of doing a body swap just for that one thing. And Scarlet Witch, same way. She's got that cape that will cover them up. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to use that. So
I think
I'm
at
not
this
really
point,
bothered.
I think at this point, any figure that has a tank top look to it should
Be
have
seamless. Yeah.
seamless. I feel like it's an investment thing, though, right? How many more Valkyries are we going to get? Probably none.
Probably none.
Whereas they put the investment into the Wonder Woman because they keep pumping out Wonder Woman, right? So it's like, but that's not, I don't think that that's a good reason. Like, there are hopefully going to be other female, like, characters of color that exist in the zeitgeist of pop culture that we'll want Hot Toys from in the future. Like, start investing it now, and hopefully I'm sure that would pay off for them over time. It sucks that they can't partner with TB League or Fison or any of those to be able to give this to us right out of the get-go. Like, so many of us collectors strip our characters down and body swap. Like that makes me so nervous to do for most of my characters because I'm worried I'll wreck it, right? And they're not.
First thing I do,
not
any
cheap.
figure I get, just strip it down.
Yeah, you like seeing how it's constructed, eh?
You can always make it look better. There's always something you can do to,
Yeah, Pete, any final thoughts on Valkyrie here?
No, I think it's not coming to my collection. I don't collect Marvel anymore. But I mean, let's be honest here. We nitpick, but it's still a fantastic looking figure. Hot Toys, apart from the odd hiccup, they put out great stuff, and so it's not for me. But it looks really good. And the comment about the eyes is it just an indication that obviously this is quite an older pre-order, and they hadn't started. This is before they started putting it in it like every figure now. So I know we got the best spin Luke, didn't we? And the Mandalorian Luke had them. Or it's just that it was never going to be like one of their premium characters, and they've done it to, like somebody said, to fulfill an obligation. But it's kind of a bit like, we won't do it on this one. And I don't know if that's reflected in the price at all, whether it was a little bit cheaper than sort of other things or not, you guys, if you've ordered it. But, no, I think it's a solid...
It wasn't a super expensive figure, but I would still say, like, you're still paying a pretty big chunk of money for it.
Of course,
and it's still within the last year that she went up for pre-order, so I feel like it's not that far back.
Yeah.
But X-Men
solid 8 out of 10, I think.
X-Men Supreme says, I saw the body swap video on Wanda, and that's a big note for me. It looked good, but I'm not tearing her apart and cutting her costume to make it fit a slimmer body and all that. Like, no. Like, I agree. I don't think I have the talent for it or the slow fingers for it. But let us know what you guys think of Tessa Thompson here. I am still excited to get this in the collection. I'm gonna pair her with some of my other just like Marvel characters, obviously, but like I think she'll fit in with a lot of them because she's a king, and I like it. Yeah. So I'm excited. She's a powerhouse, and I was excited to see her in the Marvels even yesterday. It actually brought a slight tear to my eye for some reason. Caught me out of nowhere. Don't know what it was. I think it was just because of the nature of the scene and then her showing up to help. I was happy to see her. So I'm excited to get her in the collection for sure. Guys, let's move on to our final bit of news here today before the end of the show. Soo Soo Toys, or Soo Soo Toys, I guess, depending on however you read it, has given us a couple of cool figures this week. We're looking here at the Flash from the CW television show. Now, he's called the Future Speedster. Now, it's interesting. If any of you guys want to watch a really old Ben Thomas show video, the very first figure review I did on the Ben Thomas show was the CW Flash from Soo Soo Toys, the first version. And I've got no music in the background. I'm doing it on a white table that's propped up on a couch under a lamp to try and get lighting. Like it's old, so don't judge it. but I loved Grant Gustin as the Flash. He was easily my favorite Flash, I think, that's existed in live action. I liked him so much more than Ezra Miller as a Flash, and I had wished that they were going to give him the opportunity to come to the films. And when they didn't, I was honestly pretty disappointed by it. Now, one thing that I noted, if you guys go back to that original video, is the first version of the Flash suit, the belt that you see there, it has two little pins on either side of that front clasp. As soon as you bend the figure in any way, it pops off. So that drove me absolutely bonkers trying to get this guy to pose. The second piece that drove me a little nuts was the boots were not split cut boots. And for a figure that looks, or that you want to look like they're in a running pose, having prone feet, like fixed position feet, not a great look. It doesn't look like they've changed that here either. And so I'm worried that those two pain points from my original figure will still exist. However, last thing, the zipper on the front didn't always lay totally flat. So the Flash symbol, it didn't lay flat like you see it in the picture here. It would tilt to one side or the other. And it just didn't look right. But I do feel like it's a bit of a material improvement, or at least a newer material. So we'll see there. The body does look a little bit more improved. The other version couldn't raise his arm effectively because the suit would just pull it back down, which was super annoying. And I didn't think the likeness to Grant Gustin was perfect with the head sculpt on that, whereas this looks just like Grant Gustin, at least for the pre-order. And in cowl, I actually thought that the Soo Soo version of that first version looked better than the Hot Toys one. That came out. And so this popped up this week. Those were my pain points there. Not Peter Wells. Wells here looks fantastic in my opinion as a Reverse Flash. This one, I gotta say, I think even despite my pain points, I think I'll put this guy back in.
Does
in
he
the
run
collection
really
here.
slowly?
A Reverse Flash?
No, he
Yeah,
runs.
what does
He
that
runs
mean?
backwards.
No.
Yeah, I mean, what on earth is Reverse Flash? Just
It's-
that he's got yellow. It's
Yeah.
the color. What does he do?
So it's not that he does any. He does basically exactly what the Flash does. It's
right.
kind of like his. It's like his internal opposite, right? If the Flash represents everything that is good, the Reverse Flash represents everything that is equally opposite.
Right.
Which is why even his color scheme is flipped. Instead of it being red and yellow and black, it's yellow.
He's
red,
kind of like
and
a
black.
Bizarro.
Okay.
Where
Yeah.
he's the opposite of who Superman
Yeah.
is. He's the opposite of who Flash
Harrison
is.
Wells, thank you, X-Men Supreme, yeah. And I loved the actor who plays Harrison Wells. He's throughout all of the seasons, I think up to season 8. We see him most, I think, Reverse Flash. I think my favorite appearance of him was mostly in this first season, bit of the second season, but then he still kind of comes back over the cover, a couple of the other seasons as well. So this looks a lot like the season 1 version, so I think you could pass that off. Some of the photos here with the red and black eyes look really intimidating. I think that looks really, really cool. And then lastly, we see Wally West here. I hated this character. This is not one that I would put in the collection. I really didn't like his inclusion in the show. As soon as they started adding more speedsters beyond Flash and Reverse Flash, it really did start to lose me a little bit. I did love Zoom, and I did think Godspeed was cool, but I
like
really didn't
A-Train.
like Wally Wesh. You like A-Train from the boys. I love to see it. So, but guys, Thomas, I'll start with you. Any thoughts on the Soo Soo versions here? Is this a show that you enjoyed? Would you be picking any of these bad boys up?
I've seen a few of the Flash programs. I didn't watch it regularly. The figures, they look nice, but I don't think that I would actually invest in this particular series, and it's mainly for the reason that they don't have the split cut boot. The running poses are not going to look right,
They don't.
as you said, and that bothers me. Secondly, another reason why is because they did a unmasked version of each of the figures except for Wally, and I don't understand why they didn't do an unmasked sculpt of Wally. So I'm kind of like, well, I'm not real invested in the CW line. I have the Grant Gustin Hot Toys, and I have the original Soo Soo also, and I like them sufficiently fine. So I don't really need to plug into this line. Now, if they do the one with the one with the hat with the wings on it, the old guy
Jim Garrett.
version, yeah. That one I would probably like to get that because he's more the classic version that's similar to what you would see in the comic books. But I don't see myself going all in on this particular line. But they look great. I mean, other than the boots, the figures look terrific.
If they do him, I would definitely pick that up as well. And cool fun fact is that actor was actually the original Flash from the television show, like years
That's
and years
right,
and years
okay.
and years ago. So I would totally get a J if they put that up. And X-Men Supreme is saying here they did put J in the promo images as a tease. So we'll see. I also noticed I think Godspeed in there as well, and potentially another Zoom, but I could be wrong. Could also be the zombie Flash one, or like the time manipulator Flash. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but I think it's pretty cool. I do like the Harrison Wells, I think, the most. I think the eye pieces look funny, but I like that you can swap them
I
out.
don't like all the
That's kinda
veiny bits on his chest. What's that all about?
It's weird. I don't really actually know what the veiny bits are. Little odd. The other thing,
Something
I
that
guess,
belongs on a
I
penis.
think that you mean the ones up by the
by the
emblem.
chest. By the emblem, yeah.
Yeah, they look like They look like little lightning bolts type of
Oh,
things.
they look like he's throbbing, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I forgot the other pain point that I had with this was the lightning bolts, or like the lightning effects. They came out like. Have you guys ever had those noodles at a Chinese restaurant? Like, you know what I mean? You take them out and they immediately fall apart in your hands. That like I broke mine immediately.
Yeah, I broke
doing
mine.
that.
Yeah,
immediately.
awful. Yeah.
So yeah, not so great. But Pete, would any of these come to your collection? Do you think?
No. I had that original Flash because I just had him in with some like Justice League figures and stuff because there wasn't another Flash. But yeah, totally agree with that emblem. It just doesn't work. Whether they've done anything to improve that or not here, but I think it's going to have the same sort of issues. But no, they look okay. I like the content that So Toys put out. I think they make decent figures and at good prices. But yeah, I'm not in this game anymore. So yeah.
Well, fair enough. If you guys do want a good laugh, go back, watch the very first episode of the Ben Thomas Show figure review of the original Flash so you can see what that looked like. Even the leather was like, or the pleather was like kind of sticky. I don't think that they're going to improve the material on this. I know people are hoping for leather. Unless they've officially announced it and I've just missed it, I don't think that they are going to do that. I think it would be too cost prohibitive for the price point that they're asking. So I hope to be wrong, but I unfortunately doubt it there. So we'll see. I've seen some people say they like Wally West, X-Men Supreme. Sorry, I hope I didn't offend you, buddy. But I just liked the Flash being the Flash. As soon as he had to worry about somebody else, it's like a video game. It's like when you're the main protagonist and you're having a great time being the main protagonist, and then you have to like protect somebody getting through a level and you can't just feel like you can be a badass anymore because you're so worried about the next person. That's always how Wally West felt to me. Never felt that helpful. And then they had a daughter at one point with Iris West as well, which I liked her at first, but I don't know. It didn't work for me as much. So first 2 seasons though, some of my favorite shows of all time, and I loved the way they connected with the Arrow universe back then as well. So guys, that's all we have for you today on Let's Get Nuts. Thanks for sticking around and watching today. I know we still got 33 people live in the chat with us here, which is awesome still for Super Bowl Sunday. I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, hit the like button for me if you can, just to drive some traffic after the game today. It would definitely be appreciated. Shout out to the Tough Nut crew here. We've got Alvin J, Collecting Weekly, Money Mendez, Six Scale Mafia, Katera, Feezy's Figures, King Dingling, Sith Scale Collector, Paul Schreiber, The Batman, The Movie Canon, 1/6 Focus, SpongeBob Square Balls, The _ Empire Strikes, Peter Cass, Ryan Smith, Collector Joey, Sam Gist, 14 Wellington, Jose G. Hernandez, 12-inch Moose Stream, Collection Obsession, Blurred Dad Life. And of course, guys, I have pinned the membership at the top. If you're interested in joining us, becoming one of the Tough Nut crew, all of your contributions help towards the channel, and I appreciate you guys.
Come jump in our can with us. We love to
fun.
have you.
Absolutely, really, really fun. Anthony Cafetta says, anyone see that new Deadpool trailer? Not yet. That's what I'm going to take a look at after.
Straight on there in a minute, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad to know it's out already. That's awesome. Guys, I don't want to take much more of your time. Pete, anything else coming up, buddy? I think we just missed an OFAC this past week, right?
Well, I hope you didn't miss it.
I did miss it. I have to catch up.
Yeah. We had a show on Thursday. It was a good show. We're kind of on a monthly basis at the moment because of just it's been a little bit slow, and we're now in Chinese New Year. So we'll be back in a month's time. I imagine after that we'll probably go back to 2 weekly because normally a lot of stuff comes out after that. But it was a good show. I'm very excited. My in-art Gandalf is finally round the corner. He's
nice.
He's cleared customs, so no charges, which is good. Looking forward to getting him in the next few days. It's been a wait, but yeah. And
SpongeBob, we'll see you on maybe Wednesday this week on Collecting Weekly.
I definitely plan to be there, and Pete, when you do your next OFAC, I might have to jump on with you. I miss my guy, my Brit brothers.
We always stick the shout out to anybody. So let us know if you want to come on. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm actually in the process of working on a few things. I need to put together some shorts, and so maybe that'll be something I'll work on as a project. So one day I'm gonna surprise you, and I'm gonna say I finished a short and it's live, and you're gonna be very surprised.
Heck yeah, buddy. Well, guys, let's say with that said, we got 30 people left here watching us. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Let's Get Nuts. Enjoy the Super Bowl panel. I love you guys. I love your faces. Pete, I think with that said, oh, and one last thing, Classy.
Yes.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
Thank you
Happy
so
birthday.
much, guys.
Thanks for joining us,
Yeah,
buddy. Thanks for
yeah.
being here for this. That was a big thing. So happy birthday to Pete. With that said, guys, we got nuts.
Yeah, happy birthday, Pete.
Yeah, it's a little while, a couple of months.
I think we're getting nuts right now.
We're getting nuts. Love you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
What a great audience. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.